So these last few chapters have made a lot of noise in the One Piece community, but specifically the topic of swordsmen. Now, whenever swordsmen are brought up, it always gets back to one man, Dracula Mihawk, the world's strongest swordsman. With the recent reveal of Rocks, one thing that we saw along with his design is that he wields a sword. Since he and many other top tiers from the past wield a sword, I thought let's decide if Mihawk is the strongest swordsman of all time. What's up guys, my name is Vertics, and if you enjoy videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I put out quality content like this weekly, you won't want to miss. Now it should be noted that if you haven't read the recent chapters, go ahead and do so, but within those chapters, we didn't see exactly how as of now, but we know Rocks killed a former admiral, most likely with his sword. Now, the topic of what qualifies you for a swordsman is always up for debate, but it always falls back to how one uses it. If we are being honest, it's the ones that are in support of Shanks being over Mihawk. The one attack we saw Shanks use was a slashing Haki filled move called the Vine Departure. We saw Roger's former captain use the same move on Odin and proceed to clash with Whitebeard. Now people tend to use the argument of them being Haki men or something along the lines of them using Haki and not their swordsmanship, but this wouldn't make sense at all since Zoro, the pinnacle of being a swordsman, attacks in the exact same way they do. Look at how he attacks through Wano. He fills his blade with Conqueror's Haki and then uses it to defeat King and scar Kaido. And where did he learn to attack like this? From Mihawk for 2 whole years during the time skip. People underestimate the amount of time that Zoro trained under Mihawk. Everything he has done after the time skip has been influenced by him, specifically his ability to wield Haki and his blades. If you are to declare Shanks or Roger not a swordsman because of how they attack, this would have to apply to Zoro as well, which is why them not being swordsmen makes no sense at all. Now with characters like Rocks and Whitebeard, they're a special case because Whitebeard has a devil fruit and Rocks most likely has one as well, if not multiple like Blackbeard. I do think they can be declared as swordsmen, but you would have to add their devil fruits into context. As for Mihawk himself, well, we know he is the strongest swordsman of today. This isn't really up for debate as he has the literal title and the only other person up for grabs is Shanks, but we know they fought in the past, yet Mihawk is still the world's strongest swordsman. People talk about how he said he didn't want to fight Shanks in Marineford and with Cross Guild, but both of these dialogues have context to them. People are going to call it coping, but it's really just Oda not presenting it well enough to us. In Marineford, even when they called him up for Whitebeard, they didn't expect it to spark his interest or for him to do anything at all. When he says he didn't agree to fight Shanks, it's because it interferes with his calm, peaceful way of life. Not only would this be fighting 2 wars in one day, but Shanks is someone that he wouldn't want to fight on behalf of the world government. If he's going to take him down, he'll do it on his own terms like he did the first time. This is the rinse and repeat reason of why he doesn't want to fight the other emperors on Buggy's behalf. The only other reason is fighting under Buggy's flag is humiliating to him and why both him and Crocodile beat the shit out of him. Like I said, not only does it interfere with his way of life, but he doesn't want to do it on someone else's behalf. The only reason he joined the Warlords in the first place was because he wouldn't have to be constantly on the move because the Marines are on his ass. There are some other claims people have made to slander his strength, specifically his interactions with both Vista and Jozu during Marineford. Now, I don't know why people still bring these up in 2025. Jozu is one of the most durable characters in the series, and his main purpose is to endure strong blows from enemies. The same Jozu goes on to get no-diffed by Aokiji in the same arc, and as for Vista goes, well, this is the equivalent to Luffy vs Lucci in Egghead. Yes, they clashed for a bit, but Vista failed to land any attacks and while Mihawk wasn't trying at all. Remember, Vista only stepped in to fight Mihawk because Mihawk wanted to test Luffy. He wasn't like Akainu chasing him all over the fucking place. No, he just wanted to see how far he can go, which is why he tells Vista to postpone their fight. It had nothing to do with him not being able to fight him off. It just like most other things, didn't spark his interest. And at that point, he had already got what he was looking for. Even when Crocodile clashes with him, he, just like Vista, doesn't do anything to him. Plus, most people were surprised to see him even stand up to fight in the first place. Now people claim that Mihawk doesn't have good Haki, but this isn't correct. Not only would he have insane armament at Haki having taught Zoro Ryu, but he is able to hear the conversations being brought up at the reverie while not even being near the island. This could add into why they call him Hawkeye and the reason he has insanely precise attacks. But another thing I want to discuss is this conversation between Zoro and King, where we see Zoro declare himself to be the future world's strongest swordsman. King says, "So, you've also got kingly ambitions." If being the world's strongest swordsman is what gives Zoro kingly ambitions, aka conquers Haki, what's to say that Mihawk doesn't already have it himself? We haven't seen a named attack from him yet, and it might be likely that Oda is waiting to showcase him attacking with Conquer's Haki. Remember that the fight he had with Shanks was so crazy that Whitebeard, who was apparently in attendance, said it's still fresh in his memory. If a fight like that is enough for Whitebeard to still be thinking about it, Mihawk must have showed insanely strong movesets. Some people might say over time that this has changed, but even when Mihawk goes to show Shanks Luffy's first bounty poster, he calls him a one-armed has-been. Mind you, he was in Shanks' territory by himself, surrounded by the red-haired pirates, and wasn't scared to talk some smack and pull up onto him unannounced. A quick fact that not enough people talk about when hyping up Mihawk is that it's said a sword chooses their owner. Yoru is quite possibly the strongest sword of all time. Not only is it one of the 12 supreme grade swords and a black blade, but its appearance strikes harder than any other sword in the verse. When we get to the end of the series, I speculate that Yoru will be recognized as the strongest blade of all time. Mihawk is definitely one of the strongest of all time, especially as swordsmen go, but I don't think he would be the strongest swordsman ever. Now that Rocks is shown as one, I doubt that Mihawk is on the level of Rocks. People have made the claim he is as strong or even stronger because of him being the one who end of series Zoro will surpass to become one of the strongest, but this is all under the assumption that Zoro will be stronger than Rocks. Now it's all speculation, of course. There's no real basis to how strong end of series Zoro will be as of now, other than him being the strongest to ever wield a sword, but him being stronger than Rocks would require him being able to almost, if not beat, the Roger Pirates with the help of Garp and his subordinates. There also could have been other people involved, such as the Gorosei and even Emu, along with Whitebeard possibly betraying him. Like I said, that's speculation, but it's pretty good speculation since Saturn and Garling were both on the island. Regardless though, I don't think it would take all that to beat end of series Zoro, who would by proxy be stronger than Mihawk. We haven't seen if Joy Boy or Emu carries a sword to fight, but Mihawk is not stronger than them. As for Roger and Whitebeard, well, Mihawk definitely beats an old Whitebeard, but in his prime, I doubt this as well, since Whitebeard was given the title of the world's strongest man, which obviously is above the world's strongest swordsman. We see that Roger was able to clash with Whitebeard and is in the same tier of power. I wouldn't be surprised with either option. I kind of lean more towards Roger being stronger, but then again, depending on how strong end of series Zoro will be, there's just as likely of a chance that Mihawk is stronger. The last one to mention is Ryuma. I mean, there's nothing to really use outside of more speculation, so sure, Mihawk can be stronger than Ryuma. Then again, it's hard to tell with a lot of these legendary guys, especially going as far back as Ryuma's era. Regardless though, Mihawk is undoubtedly the strongest swordsman of the modern age, and is even one of the strongest warriors to ever roam the seas. Well, that's it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave a like. It really helps with the algorithm and is very appreciated. As always, shout out to Tiberius for the thumbnail. He makes quality thumbnails for me all the time, and if you would like some of your own, hit him up on Twitter, link in the description, as well as my Twitter at Vertics_ for more of my takes. And without further ado, you guys can get out of here.